Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about a very important aspect about building your taste in music today. Now, let's talk about why it's very important to build your taste. Because taste is fundamentally that thing which basically guides you or which navigates you. It takes you in a certain direction, it keeps you there because that's the way you like things. So let's take a moment and ask ourselves what is taste and how it actually begins. So, your taste is contributed as an artist by a lot of factors. It eventually starts with what you're exposed to, what your friends are listening to, what people around are listening to. It can come out of a certain area that you're from, and a certain style of music may be more popular there. Or it can come out of the fact of what you find artistic, what you find is resonating with you. Most often, a culmination of all these things forms what is called as artistical taste. Now, taste is a guiding force, it's a driving factor behind everything that you do. Every decision that you take about a certain thing that you do with your art is most often guided by your taste. And when you hear a good musician or when you see a good piece of art, you're often not looking at skill. Skill is, of course, essential and it's also there, but most often what you're looking at is taste. So today, we're going to talk about 5 ways that is going to help you reform your taste in music. So let's begin with number 1. It's the ultimate question that you've got to ask yourself, which we most often deceive ourselves with. The question is asking yourself, is my taste really good enough? Because unless you ask yourself that question, you're never going to think about improving your taste. Most often as artists, we spend a lot of time improving our skills, improving our knowledge, which is great. But at the same time, if you don't improve your taste along with this, all of this knowledge and skill is not going to play such a major role. So start first by asking yourself that question and be open to the fact that there's always room to improve your taste. Never get on that slope where you say that no, my taste is perfect, my taste is really good, I don't think I need to improve it. So always start by asking yourself that question and open yourself up to the fact that your taste can continuously be improved. Now, the second point is start with your history. It's super important to know where your music comes from. So let's just say that we got on the bandwagon of electronic music sometime in the late 90s. Electronic music obviously didn't start in the 90s, it's been there for far longer, right? So you want to start by understanding what were those artists and labels doing before you sort of started following them or sort of started finding their sound. So start with the history, get to your favorite music site, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. Go there, go to a label's profile or go to an artist profile and arrange the music in chronological order from the oldest to the newest. So you can start exploring some of the history. Now, when you explore history, you will understand a lot of things. You may see new label names there. You may see that a certain artist who's releasing now on certain labels was releasing on another label before. So all of this knowledge is going to help you expand your repertoire of taste. So make sure that you look through your history wherever you come across a new artist. One of my favorite things to do is if I come across some new piece of music by some new artist, I haven't come across their name before, I will always go over to their SoundCloud, over to their Spotify and sort of try and listen to what they were doing before. It's also a great way to discover music and at the same time build your taste. Now, the third thing I'm about to tell you, you may say, really? But trust me, this is something that's going to help you a long way. So learn music theory. I'm not talking about learning like jazz music chords or anything like super complex, but try and learn some of the basic music theory stuff. You have no idea how helpful it is when you understand what a scale is, when you understand what a time signature is, when you understand how components of rhythm, melody, and harmony work together. You don't need to do like a PhD in this. All you need to do is go over to YouTube, look for a few basic videos on music theory, maybe download some ebooks. There are plenty of courses online. Just understanding a little bit of music theory goes a long way in reforming your taste. Now, the next thing you are again going to ask me, is this guy asking me to become like some kind of author, some kind of, music connoisseur? But let me tell you, try to write about the music. Try to describe the music that you're listening to. Now, just like a piece of music, when you start trying to write about it, it's going to give you a great perspective in describing it. Now, when I was talking about learning music theory, which can help you understand certain terminologies or certain aspects of music, when you try to write about the music that you're listening to in a way that it is meant to be read by someone that's not actually hearing the music, but by reading the way you've written about the music, they should be able to get the essence of it. Now, being able to attach emotions to music, being able to describe them in a certain way that it sort of does justice to the sound is a great skill to have. Now, you don't need to learn in such a way that you're writing reviews in a magazine, but just doing it for yourself and just writing about the music can actually help you open up your mind about different things in the music. Now, the next thing that I'm about to tell you is in conjunction with what we just spoke before. Now, like writing about music, start classifying your music. You may have a large collection of music. A lot of people like to store the music chronologically. Some of them like to sort of put it in playlists, right? So when you make a playlist, you normally try to put tracks that sort of work with each other or match with each other. So you kind of have a certain mood, right? So get to that level of classification with your music where you're classifying it based on the mood or based on the time that it's meant to be played in the set or based on the kind of, sound that it has. Like, for example, you could have a set of tracks that all have a certain kind of broken rhythm. You may have a playlist that has tracks that have really good melodies. You may have a playlist of tracks that have vocals, but then you may sub-playlist it as a track with male vocals, a track with female vocals. So try to classify your music by mood, by tempo, by all sorts of parameters. That's going to give you a great grip on being able to put your music together. Because one of the things that's very important over here is really understanding your music, right? So unless you understand your music, then you are going to be able to sort of go forward by building your taste, by being able to classify it. So I hope these 5 little tips are going to be helpful for you in order to build your taste in music. What are some of the ways that you like to build your taste in music? Drop it below in the comment section and hit the subscribe button if you found this video useful. I will see you around for the next one.